Hello everyone, my name is Nunu. Today we're back with F1 2018 Career Mode here for Season 3. And you can see there's a bit of different colours on the wall. It's not the orange and white McLaren that we drove with the last two seasons. You can see it is pink this time around. And as you might know, we have joined Force India for Season 3 of this Career Mode. We're teammates with Sergio Perez, our team boss, Otmar Safnauer, or however you pronounce that, or the new team boss. Of course, you can call it whatever you want. Racing Point is in real life. I don't know if it has been changed yet, but you can see the developments there. Ferrari has actually took a step up, and Mercedes as well. I think Mercedes is actually also in the mix right with us. So it's going to be a battle between Force India, Mercedes, and Ferrari for. At least that's how it is right now. But McLaren and Red Bull are kind of equal at the top of it all. But you can see our R&D tree. The only thing that they have developed for last season was one durability thing, and that has failed. But let's just get into the first qualifying session here of the season.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
Okay, so I think we can at least get into Q2, maybe even Q3. Of course, I'm doing full qualifying and 50% race for this season, so that's a bit of a new thing there. But coming out of the first run in Q2, we're going to be doing 2 runs because I would like to be sure that we get through to Q2 at least. Here, our first one was kind of like, okay, I thought this was the worst lap pretty much ever. It wasn't too good, but it gives us 15th place, so just enough. And we might want to go out again because we're dropping down the order down. We're still 15th place at the moment, but just to be completely sure, you know, I don't think we'll get into Q3, so we don't have to use tyres for that anyway. But coming around the last section, the last corner, we're 2/10 up at the moment, which might be enough just to get up a couple of positions or something there. We get a good exit out of the last corner, gaining like half a tenth. And coming over the line, it is a 11th place in Q1, so not too bad. To be honest, and of course that jerk I am, how stupid I am, I deleted the footage from Q2 because I had to go after not too long. But let's get into the race here in Australia.
New drivers, new cars, and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. Here's the track then, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. They make up the 3.3 miles around Albert Park Lake, with turn 1 and 3 providing the best opportunities to pass. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, and who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top champ. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction. I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
Alright, so a relatively long introduction from Crofty and Martin Brundle there. It's alright, you can see we're actually going to be doing the ultra soft to the super soft strategy. The default set soft, super soft to the soft, because tire wear is not good enough for that. But for some reason in the tire wear program, I had great tire wear or something. But here we're on the grid, and the slides out, and away we go. We get off to an okay start there. We can follow up with Hamilton and Grosjean there, who gets off to an amazing start as well there. We have the Sauber going down the inside of 3 wide almost into the first corner there, but at the end of the day, we make it up. There's actually Hartley there trying to overtake us, but it's a terrible start for us. We went from 11th place or something down to 14th. There's just a couple of corners, but we're going to go down the inside of Marcus Ericsson there. They're going side by side right in front of us. Our teammate there. We're going to go side by side with Ericsson through these corners, but eventually we are going to get him under acceleration of turn 4 or 5, I think, or something like that. So, clean race start, not too good for us. Of course, our teammate there, 2 positions in front of us, so not too good of a race start for him as well, because he got into Q3, and I think we had a glitch in Q3, so it was normal performance. But it is a relatively clean race start for us here. Here in Australia at the moment. We're in 13th place. We just want to make sure we don't crush out, because these 50% races, of course, you have more fuel on board. We go for an unexpected dive down the inside of Grosjean. We squeezes through to make a bit of contact with his wheel, but of course you have more kind of fuel in the car, so it's more heavier, which I can very much see here with Sergio Perez, who actually pushes us a bit out to the grass there. So we don't want to have any kind of things going on with Sergio Perez already in the first race, because he's staying closely behind, but just there before pushes out to the grass a little bit, so maybe a little bit too aggressive from his side, but you can see he's staying close, and we're actually catching up to the people in front, me and Perez, both of us. Of course, it is the first time I've driven this car almost. I've driven it in practice and qualifying, but nothing else. First time in races. We're trying to just find a gap down the inside of Hamilton, but he just closes us off. We still manage to find it. We run deep into the corner. He cups for the switchback move there, but we have the inside. We squeeze him out. They're not even supposed to have it, but of course these brakes, I really could feel the brakes. They were not as good as on the McLaren at all, and definitely downforce wasn't as good, but it is of course a new car we haven't driven with. At the moment, Valtteri Bottas is out in the lead, pulling out a pretty massive lead out in the front. Of course, Mercedes is actually a car on our level, but somehow he still managed to get a giant lead there. You can see someone's going into the pit already in lap 4. They are going to be going for the 2-stop. We're on the 1-stop strategy, and you can actually see right behind us, after we've overtaken Perez there, Lewis Hamilton tries to overtake him as well, so they're kind of battling each other right behind us, which kind of makes us able to go away, because they're compromising each other's racing lines, which makes them slow down. So that kind of means that we can kind of pull away a little bit and be more in the safe zone. Of course, this is at the moment it's pretty much the critical laps of the race, because we're on lap 7. We're going to come into the pits on lap number 12. So the next couple of 3 or 4 laps need to be at least okay, consistently fast laps, and the last couple of laps needs to be fast enough if we want to go for kind of like an overcut strategy. But we are on the 1-stop, which is very different to anyone else. We actually move into the lead as we're here on lap number 11, going on to lap number 12. We're going to come into the pits for the super soft tire compound from the ultra soft tire. So it's been an okay, good stint. We moved from 11th up to 1st, but of course we are going to get overtaking under pit exit. Oh shit, that was kind of a burp there, but we rejoined in 8th place, which is so much better than anything I expected. I don't know at all why. We actually rejoined in front of Sebastian Vettel, who's had a very, very bad race. He started on the first 2 rows at least, but he's had a very, very bad race. He's dropped down with all that strategy there. So here we are. Oh, this is Sergio Perez, I think it is. Yes, it is. In the number 11 Force India, which the Force India looks good. What am I talking about? This is Perez, right? But I think this Force India actually looks fine enough. It is the Pink Panther team here. Talking about Perez, he's actually going to come into the pits. He's on the same strategy as us. He's kind of going for more of an overcut strategy, which could work out if he has a fast enough pit stop. But as we're coming around the last corner here, we come out in front of him, so we're actually in 2nd place right now, and we don't need to do any more pit stops. We just need to keep this one home. You can see Sergio Perez there got out in 4th place, so somehow we've all made up so many positions in the 2 Force Indias. A great rush from us at the moment. We're running 2nd and 3rd actually, because he's trying to overtake right behind us there. They're battling it out. But you also have the Red Bull, the home Australian guy who's right behind Paris, splitting up, right behind Paris. Paris, it sounds like I'm saying Paris, but when I say Paris, I mean Paris, like the driver Paris. But you see Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg there getting faster lap. Does that mean that the track is getting faster and faster? For me it doesn't. I'm actually half a second down on the fastest lap that I have. So I don't know if that was just like they just suddenly found an insane pace, or if the track is actually getting faster, because it started in kind of overcast conditions, but now it's kind of clearing up right behind us. You can see some stunning shots there of us driving through the chicane. I love that corner when viewing it from the broadcast view. It looks insane. This track is of course a street circuit with some barriers closer than others, a lot of grass, and I gotta say, I quite like this circuit. It's not too bad. But you can actually see right down as Paris is closing up to us in the closing stages of this race. He's coming closer and closer to our gearbox, which is not good for us. He actually gets into the DRS zone, I think. And you can see he gets the slipstream. We go defensive into the first corner, lap 23 out of 29. But we have the inside line, so we kind of have the nose. We can kind of squeeze him out there on purpose. He would still have to react because we were on the dominant line right there. You can see our time is not too good. We can hold it home for the race without worrying about that. But you can actually see Paris drop a little bit behind there. And Daniel Ricciardo, the home Australian, trying to go for a move around the outside of him. They keep it side by side with each other right there, but eventually Sergio Perez inside on top of that battle. Taking a look back at Sebastian Vettel, who actually won the real life Grand Prix a couple of months ago, or half a year ago. That's not going to happen for us, for him today, because he's out of the points, I think, yes. It's, of course, we have to look at our rivals, the Mercedes and the Ferraris, because we want to keep it updated whether it's going good or not for them. But you can actually see we're kind of in a train at the moment, kind of wanting to just stay in second place because Sergio Perez is in third. So at least we know now that the car's relatively competitive. You can see we move over to break the toe right there. But at least we know our car's kind of competitive this season. It is a new car. And I must say, I in qualifying, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, I hadn't tried. I did try the qualifying program, but that is not the same because you're running max fuel mixture and the track difficulties is changing. But it's actually a safety car deploy, and I managed to get a kind of a snapshot here on board with Nico Hulkenberg. It is Alonso that is out of the race there in the start-finish straight. So we have a safety car out. We have to catch the safety car queue, which may. There's 3 laps remaining, so it might give us a chance to go for a move on Valtteri Bottas whenever the safety car is released. But you can see we turn it down to lean and no ERS to kind of save the ERS and the fuel so we can use it on Valtteri Bottas after that. But Sergio Perez down in 4th place, so it's kind of like a 2-lap sprint race right here at the end of it all. It's coming in the lap it came out, almost. It was there for 1 lap here, as we're now here. We are slowing down right behind Valtteri Bottas, waiting for him to floor the throttle. We have turned it out up into standard fuel mixture and the medium ERS deploy, so we can get off to a relatively good race start. But it is a 2-lap sprint race. The safety car has gone out in front, going into the pitch. We're right behind Valtteri Bottas, 2 laps remaining. Ricciardo behind us, the home hero, looking to get a podium from 11th on the grid, which is not too bad, I gotta say. But here we are. Coming on to the green flag very, very, very soon. When does Valtteri Bottas floor? We're waiting. The tension is rising so much right now. I think he's going to floor right after this chicane, because not right after this corner, this happen, but not into it. But he actually does. Here he is, and he gets off to a great start. We get off to such a bad one. There's a massive oversteer moment there, and he's already got a bit of a gap pulled out on us. So in the last 2 laps, we really have to push right here. Kind of, maybe we actually have to look behind instead of in front. Maybe we have to look at Ricciardo of going defensive against him instead of trying to overtake Valtteri Bottas, because his pace in this race has been absolutely insane, unlike real life where he only made from 15th to like 8th or something, I think. But in this race his pace has been absolutely phenomenal, which is a good place for him to be absolutely phenomenal. But you can see he kind of increases a gap to us. We kind of make a gap down to Ricciardo, so I think a 2nd place in this race is pretty sure. It's pretty secure as we're coming on to the last lap, the last lap of the race, last half a lap of the race here. So we're just gonna get some nice shots of the chicane, which looks absolutely insane. It's lap 29 out of 29. We have Ricciardo. He can still make a move, but I doubt, because he's way too far behind. And well, what do I know? He doesn't. Coming around the last corner to claim a surprising 2nd place here in the Australian Grand Prix from 11th on the grid. We come over the line for 2nd place. We just finished in front of Daniel Ricciardo right there. That was kind of dramatic, but it is Valtteri Bottas who picks up the race victory. Me and Ricciardo on the podium together with him, standing on each side here as he comes out of his car. You can see the Danish flag, the Finnish flag, and the Australian flag up on the podium as he rises the trophy high up into the air, and the celebrations begin for what has been a nice, very, very nice Australian Grand Prix start to the season. Of course, this new format, I have driven a lot of 50% races. Of course, I do AOR I also train for RR, but the full qualifying, that's the first time I've done it on this game, actually. But you see, from actually 13th, we came to 2nd, and Sergio Perez came from 10th to 4th. So the car definitely does have a lot of pace in it, but you can see it is 30 points for us in the Constructors' Championship. You can have the full results if you want, and then we can see the Ferraris there. Only 2 points for the 2 Ferraris, which is like our main, one of our main title rivals, or at least on paper it is, but maybe not in real life. The driver standing is, of course, the same as what we have just finished, but in the Constructors' Championship, we're 2nd place, 5 points behind Mercedes. McLaren all the way down in 4th, so not too good of a start to the season. Of course, we won the drivers' championship in the end of the season. By the way, make sure to check out last season. We have 2018 career mode playlist and the highlights and stuff, but of course we managed to wrap up the Constructors' Championship by Austin, but that's a long time ago because McLaren is all the way down in 4th, and we're already performing better, so we don't know anything about the performance. We weren't supposed. I think we're on we're between the 3rd and the 5th, the 6th best team on the grid, so we're not supposed to be in 2nd, but I mean, I'll take it. But oh well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back with Bahrain in a couple of days' time, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.